ever, baby. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some ex-love, ex-tenderness. It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. Not after all the damage you've suffered to do you, really? Alright, nothing down to fuck all, borough. Not you. Your days of giving a shit and being that, do you really? The song of death is sweet like a fly to the ointment. Your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, a fiery streak penetrates your scalp.
This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. This fan has two chain pull switches. This fan has two chain pulls. You reach out to grab the tie. But what's this? Diffuse, radiating chest pain. Doom comes over you. This is bad. For quite a still ongoing. Finally, the pressure recedes. You know what you should do. You should stop the fan and then try again. Do it if you want to die. The stabbing pain in your chest is telling you. You're hanging by a thread here. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. A terrible mistake. It's just a little hangover-induced photosensitivity. Don't over. The lights are off. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. What you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie with four. You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket. It says, whirling in rags, on the aluminium keyring. The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy. The shards face outward. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right, more likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from something you've done before. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for the single green shoe you found fits the hole almost as well as your foot. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you could still find the other one. The cool wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold. The fan stands still. The switch must be broken, because nothing happens. The switch must be broken. A terrible... It's just a little hangover. Little black spots dance on your retinas. It's...
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28.
No. Because you're a police officer, sir. I'm not, unless you've been shitting Ossel. You've been here for 3 days, on official police business, no less. I couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking. Could it be because of the...
She hasn't had time to put her makeup on. This is her morning cigarette. She looks
Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had to.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be. Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes. There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentation. Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. It would appear so. At around a slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to... Yes. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. There was. I think you screamed that you...
Sounds like you were in some real fundamental pain there.
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. The dock workers are pretty cocky. You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol. Forever and ever.
And ever and ever. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the hair.
We are in Revachol. Forever.
And ever and...
We are in Revachol. You sure look like you're from Revachol. You're in a hostel. We are in Revachol. Yeah. It's 51. The current century? Centuries don't have numbers. They have... Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. You're right. There is nothing funny. Glad to have been of assistance.
The door is closed. This door, as you hold the metal, you sense the warmth left there by her hand. This door, as you hold, there is no... You hear the shower being turned on. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door does not care. Still no answer. Still, you should punch a fucking hole in it. That felt good. Everyone is a whore. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not produce, not to mention, great exercise. This door, as you hold still, you should punch a fucking hole. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not, not to mention, the door is closed. This door, as you still, you should, that felt. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not, not to mention, the door still, that felt. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not produce, not to mention, the door is closed. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter. That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he's purposely ignoring you.
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop. Am I? Or did you ride in, take the body down, solve the murder, and not trash my hostel room? Oh, it's not? You're right, it's not. Oh no, you're a hero. Yes, you are. What did you not do? No, you see, actually, you didn't. You haven't done... No, I haven't seen you around. I'm not always here.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it. A small engraved steel tag says, "The Great Skua, Ste Koari's Skua."
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you. Concentrating, a competent looks like a small engraved.
Look, why don't you go and...
He pretends not to hear you.
Oh no, you're a hero. Or am I? You're right, you didn't. And it's... No, I haven't seen...
A competent looks like a small engraved.
Look, your bud... Why don't you go and talk to him?
He pretends not to hear.
No, I'm not the...
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a...
That period of my life is over. Not everyone. I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. She just, you know... No.
He's very animated all of a sudden.
I have 3. She just... No.
He's very
That period of my life.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know you're vast, utterly, through a PA by other people, whether they like it or not. Ram it up. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? You should sing the sad small church song from the... No, you would need another copy of the tape first, though. The door still... You should punch a fucking hole. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not to mention, grab this door as you hold the metal. You sense the warmth left. This door as you hold still. You should punch a fuck. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not to mention. There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin. reunite. It's pretty clear, ain't you? May be what they call a big good. They're balanced. The door still. You should punch that felt good. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not not to mention.
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting. Hello,
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on. As you approach, he narrows. On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he is waiting for your name. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Yes, well, it looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here? If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you... At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Right. And the interviews? Right. Good. But even if you haven't, we'll have to have you remove the dead body from the tree. Sure. But did you take... Sure. Does that mean the body is no longer... So...
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred...
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there.
What a shame. Get to it now. Rip that body down from the tree.
After it's been up in a tree for...
Delicate goods, filled with stinking horrors.
I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going... Yes. They're not just white rectangles. They bear a halo. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage. But again, it's none of my concern. You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I would advise you to locate it as quickly as possible. But I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse. Much worse. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store.
A painkiller would be good about now. The best cure for a headache is, of course, morphine. They won't have that.
We all feel that way sometimes. There is no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is... But first, we have to take it down. Talk to the manager. Then we go out back and take the body down. After you, officer.
Hello again, sweetie. I see
The lieutenant nod. Wait, who's Sweetie?
you're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache. But dear, you're not for me. You must forgive me. I'm getting so... I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic. I hope not. Although the work you are doing for all of us...
Towering over her in your insignia, you make her feel safe.
But not you. You're volunteering. So thank you, sweetie.
So you volunteered sometime.
It means I can't use my legs. I was in an accident some years back, injured in the line of duty, as they... Oh no, far from it. Although, I did come out to watch the boys.
She blushes, surprised by her own boldness.
I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding... You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. It means I can... Oh no, far...
She blushes.
I was a trainee. You'd think it... I was lucky. It means Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I was a training and... You'd think it would... I was lucky. It means Nothing so extravagant, dear. Though what young girl doesn't dream of soar... I was a training and... You'd think it... I was lucky. I hope...
Towering over her in your...
Actually, this machine is broken. I hope not.
Towering over her.
You're a man at the peak of your physical and intellectual powers. That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway. Yes, dear. No problem. Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Yes, and it seems to me that you do well to stick close to him. And even if he weren't there, I don't think you'd have much use for me. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair. Perhaps another time. Whatever do you mean? Ah, yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People, whatever do you mean? Sequence?
A partner who needs you, I can assure you, with absolute certainty.
Now, Jen, thank you. Perhaps another. Whatever do you mean? Sequence?
A partner who I can...
Now, I really would like to help out, but whatever. Sequence?
A partner who needs...
It seems to me that you look... Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like, oh my. You know where we are, right? A seaside hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. How would I even begin to tell you? I haven't seen very many other cities. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? Perhaps, dear.
The lieutenant studies you. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality. Outside, the melting snow.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Actually, we are not. You could say that about almost any other nation, but not Revachol. Oh no, nothing like that, dear.
She's trying to avoid the foreigner's part. This is because she's a woman. She may be lying to you.
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, Ben. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like...
She's scared now. She's realized you...
You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like...
A sigh. The lieutenant...
But maybe a fresh set of someone more educated...
No, I'm not an encyclopedia.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe?
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Of course, dear.
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approach.
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Fantastic. That's wonderful, really. I think so.
Sir, I understand your...
Yes, of course.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something
You said you just got here.
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here.
I didn't imply that. Detective. I have everything. You?
Yes, he means, do you have questions for me, like a police officer would? She went away because none of your business. Oh my God, what is your obsession with this Sylvie person? Get behind this building, there's a courtyard. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then to your right, you should behind this building. That's easy. See that door there? Behind this. That's easy. See that door there? I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police.
He doesn't know. He just said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching. The locals, customers, the people who eat here...
Did the debarders themselves tell her?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask. I would suppose it's because they have...
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear. A mercenary. The unionistas probably thought they'd send a message. What are you, crazy? Of course...
Suddenly you tense up. Blood is being pushed to your muscles. You should hound him on this. How?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I don't appreciate this. What is this? Do I have to answer him?
The lieutenant stands motionless, his expression unreadable.
What are you, an idiot? I told you I...
He ignores you. More. Press on. Push through.
Fuck you, man.
That's enough.
That's a real pity. What are you?
Suddenly you tense up.
Oh, thank you. What are you?
Suddenly.
No, I did it. Do I have...
The lieutenant.
What are you?
He ignores. More. Press on.
Fuck you.
That's enough.
That's a real pity. Oh, I would suppose...
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook.
She went away because none of you... Extra fine. Oh my God, what is your obsession? I don't know.
He doesn't know. He just... The lieutenant turns the page in...
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, excuse me. You owe me...
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe...
No, you don't owe me street cred. You owe me money. You owe this establishment... Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually, more, but... We'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability. Let's see. Another thing you've annihilated. What are you, a philosopher? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room or 8 bottles of potent blend.
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something.
Let's see. Another thing you've annihilated. You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything.
The words leave your mouth as if walking up the stairs. Everything is going fine until you...
Oh, so apparently I'm a bitch now. Okay, I'll be the bitch, and you'll be the broke cop who owes me money, and no one will...
Sir, leash in your tongue.
The words nail the cafeteria manager to his place. Unmoving, he stared...
Officer, you need to contact your station. Ask your people for assistance with...
I'm sorry, but I can't let him stay here if he doesn't pay. He's 3 days on the slip. If he doesn't have the money by...
Okay.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up black, but you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. You don't really know, do you? A vague, blackened image doesn't sound like somewhere you can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time.
Yes? Excuse me? Detective, if I may be frank, you seem to be in a deranged state. That would be us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. That's good. That's good. Some you time? This is a police investigation, not a journey of self. Please do. We wouldn't want your regiment to spill over into the investigation.
No response. He just arches his brow.
Have you tried concentrating?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
Try work. The case at hand. Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant...
Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble... Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer. Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazarus. Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation. What no?
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. It's like you're locked down.
Something the matter?
What's going on? It's like you're a puppet and the lieutenant relaxes it.
That's correct.
That makes him a Binoclad. Completely uncut material.
Are they? They are more. That's correct.
That makes you made...
Just because your precinct has a reputation for cracking skulls doesn't mean that's the only way to solve a case. Was there anything else? That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my... It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity. And a geographic... You're barking at the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met... What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't say...
The lieutenant produces... You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office...
Good. Let's change the subject. What do you want to know? I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition. You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. Better still than an imbecile cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. Later. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it. Then you are not that far behind, actually. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Mart. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was, there's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer. No, it's not a particularly mysterious. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that. I can assure nothing like that will happen. No, something isn't.
The gesture resembles it. There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing.
You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again? 3 days ago, during that time, The victim had been stripped of a security guard. They didn't die. There's a strong just to be clear. We good.
Only banal things strike you. At the core, one you should be ashamed of.
What do you want to know? Good.
window stands broken in its frame. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean. The morning light hurts your eyes. The shards face outward. What a fine web of scar, more likely a projectile than a held object. Something you... It is too long. The single green shoe. Congratulations. A cool wind gushes in. Your toe... The window stands broken in its... The morning light hurts your... The morning... This fan has four. Has it been consigned there as punishment? You reach out to this for quite still. Finally, the pressure recedes. The blades come squeaking to a halt. You swoop up. What you have in your hand is a fantastic... You hear a jingle. It says...
An awareness creeps. is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. Your conscience never, and an inordinate amount of time passes. It is you got it, sweet brother. Coming right up, sir. Smooth. Alright. Nothing, town. Do you want me to upgrade that to a 1? The song of death, like a fly to the ointment.
You can take it. You're a champion.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth. I know that. A fiery streak, but
Somehow, you know what it is. mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fist, was this not the same Probably not, no. Hot water sprays from the faucet's base. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there. And really, or recollection, with all the synapses, really, with all as you slip abort. You clearly have not thought this through. Yeah. Where to even begin? Behold. You have no idea. It appears you're also dead. Please stop. You couldn't stop if you wanted to. No. That would be too insane. Oh my, what does it even mean? What? Please promise yourself you are not going to try it on any of the ladies. You liar. You can't even tell the truth to yourself. Go ahead. Try something. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now. The window stands broken. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see that the shards face outward. What a fine web of scar, more likely a projectile than it is like the congratulations. A cool wind. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, it's too late. Like an image on film. This fan, or has it been consigned there as punishment? You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. What you have in your hand, if it's your friend, why was it up? An ominous, foreboding feeling, a terrible... It's just little black spots. The windows step. The morning light hurts. You hear a jingle. Keys are. It says "whirling in rags." The whirling in rags is a hostel. window stands broken in its frame. The morning light. The morning light.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette. Her eyes are brown, and a silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This...
No.
There's only one. The young woman shakes her head. Officer could be an artistic statement.
No. You're a police officer, sir. I'm not. You've been here for... I couldn't...
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped? Try the expression. Come on, why are you still doing this?
Alcohol raises testosterone levels, especially in men. The levels remain elevated after inebriation ends and the pain begins.
She puts out her cigarette. Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes. There was... I couldn't say... Oh, yes.
Oh, that.
Oh, we're huge where I come from.
In that case, doesn't life get hard because...
I don't know about that. A slow... That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're... Yes.
It's impossible to say with...
Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. There was. I think you...
Sounds like you were...
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet, but it's the civilization has... You're right.
She hates civilization.
We are in Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, divided into zones.
Yeah?
Those words tell me something else.
Glad to have been of assistance.
The door is this door as you hold this door as you hold there is you hear a tremendous the door is indifferent to your loneliness. The world does not care. Still, this door as you hold the metal. Still, you should punch you slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not to mention great